1. Judas Iscariot. The betrayal so infamous his name became synonymous with treachery itself. One of the 12, handpicked by Jesus, trusted with the money bag. For 3 years he walked with Christ, witnessed miracles, heard teachings that would reshape civilization. Then Satan entered him. 30 pieces of silver, the price of a slave. That's what Judas accepted to betray the Messiah. But here's the detail that should haunt you. He betrayed Jesus with a kiss. In that culture, a kiss meant love, respect, loyalty. Judas weaponized affection itself. "Rabbi," he said in the Garden of Gethsemane, and kissed Jesus. That was the signal. Soldiers rushed in. The Son of God was arrested. Within hours, Judas realized his horror. The silver burned in his hands. He threw it back at the priests. "I have sinned by betraying innocent blood." They didn't care. So Judas went out and hanged himself. The field bought with his blood money? It's still called the field of blood to this day. 2. Delilah, the woman who discovered that the world's strongest man had one fatal weakness: love. Samson could tear lions apart with his bare hands. He killed 1,000 Philistines with a donkey's jawbone. No army could defeat him. But Delilah, she conquered him with 4 words: "You don't love me." The Philistine lords each offered her 1,100 pieces of silver. That's 5,500 pieces total, far more than Judas got. 3 times Samson lied about his weakness. 3 times she tested him. 3 times he escaped. But she persisted, nagging him day after day until his soul was vexed to death. Finally, he broke. "No razor has touched my head. If I'm shaved, my strength will leave." She lulled him to sleep on her lap, called for a barber. 7 braids fell to the floor. "The Philistines are upon you, Samson." He jumped up to fight as before. But the Lord had left him. They gouged out his eyes. Bronze shackles, grinding grain like an animal. The world's strongest man, destroyed by the woman he loved. But here's what Delilah didn't count on. Hair grows back, and so does vengeance. 3. Joseph's brothers. The coat of many colors wasn't just clothing. It was their father's declaration. Joseph is my favorite. 17 years old, telling his brothers about dreams where they bowed to him. They hated him, couldn't even speak peaceably to him. Then opportunity knocked. Joseph came to check on them in the fields, alone. "Here comes the dreamer," they sneered. First, they planned murder. Reuben intervened. "Throw him in a pit instead." While he was in that dark hole, probably crying for mercy, they sat down to eat lunch. That's cold. Then a caravan appeared, Ishmaelite traders heading to Egypt. "What profit is it if we kill our brother?" Judah asked. 20 pieces of silver, less than Judas got for Jesus. They sold their teenage brother into slavery, then dipped his coat in goat's blood, showed it to their father. "Is this your son's coat?" Jacob tore his clothes and mourned for years. Meanwhile, Joseph was stripped, chained, and marched to a foreign land. But here's the twist. Those dreams weren't delusions. 22 years later, during a famine, those same brothers would bow before Egypt's second-in-command, begging for grain. They didn't recognize him, but Joseph recognized them. 4. Cain and Abel. The first brothers. The first betrayal. The first murder. Both brought offerings to God. Abel's was accepted, Cain's was rejected. And in that moment, something dark was born in the human heart. Murderous jealousy. God himself warned Cain. "Sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you." Cain didn't listen. "Let's go to the field," he told Abel. Casual, brotherly, like they'd done 100 times before. But this time was different. In that field, Cain rose up and killed his brother. The ground soaked up the first human blood spilled by human hands. God's voice thundered from heaven. "Where is Abel, your brother?" Cain's response drips with callous contempt. "Am I my brother's keeper?" The earth itself cried out for justice. God cursed Cain to be a restless wanderer. But here's the chilling part. Cain was more worried about his punishment than his crime. "My punishment is more than I can bear. Anyone who finds me will kill me." Even in judgment, God showed mercy, marking Cain for protection. The first murderer lived, but he lived marked, wandering, forever hearing his brother's blood crying from the ground. 5. Peter's denial. This hits different because Peter wasn't evil. He was the rock, the one who walked on water, who declared, "You are the Christ." Hours earlier, he swore he'd die with Jesus. He even pulled a sword and cut off a man's ear defending him. But when the pressure came, when a servant girl said, "You were with Jesus," Peter crumbled. "I don't know the man." Once, twice, The third time, he added curses and oaths. Then the rooster crowed. At that exact moment, Jesus, beaten and bloodied, turned and looked straight at Peter. Their eyes met. Peter remembered Christ's prediction. He fled into the night, weeping bitterly. Unlike Judas, Peter's betrayal wasn't premeditated. It was cowardice in the moment, fear overtaking faith, and that makes it relatable. How many of us would have done the same? 6. Adam and Eve. The original sin, the betrayal that broke the world. One rule, just one. Don't eat from that tree. They had paradise, literal perfection, walking with God in the cool of the evening. Then the serpent whispered, "Did God really say?" 5 words that introduced doubt into paradise. The fruit was beautiful, good for food, desirable for wisdom. Eve took, she ate, she gave to Adam. He ate. Their eyes were opened all right. To shame, to fear, to death. When God called, they hid among the trees, the creator of the universe asking, "Where are you?" Not because he didn't know, because he wanted them to confess. Instead, blame shifting. Adam blamed Eve and God. "The woman you gave me." Eve blamed the serpent. Nobody took responsibility. The sentence, pain in childbirth, toil for food, death for all. Paradise lost. All because they believed the lie that God was holding out on them. 7. David and Uriah. The king who had everything betrayed the soldier who had nothing but loyalty. David saw Bathsheba bathing, sent for her, slept with her. She got pregnant. Problem, her husband Uriah was at war. David's solution? Bring Uriah home, get him drunk, send him to his wife. Perfect cover-up. Except Uriah had more honor drunk than David had sober. He refused to enjoy his wife while his comrades were intense. Plan B was murder. David sent Uriah back with his own death warrant. Put Uriah in the front where the fighting is fiercest. Then withdraw from him. Uriah hand-delivered the letter that killed him. Died loyal to the king who betrayed him. David took his widow. Thought he'd gotten away with it. Then Nathan the prophet arrived. "You are the man!" The baby died. David's family was ravaged by violence. The sword never departed from his house. One night of passion, a lifetime of consequences. 8. Jacob and Esau. The twin who came out grabbing his brother's heel never stopped grasping for what wasn't his. Isaac was old, blind, dying. Time for the blessing, the sacred words that would determine the family's future. "Bring me wild game and I'll bless you," he told Esau. Rebekah overheard, loved Jacob more, plotted deception. Goat skin on Jacob's smooth arms to feel like Esau's hair. Esau's clothes for the smell. Savory meat disguised as wild game. "Are you really my son Esau?" blind Isaac asked, suspicious. "I am," Jacob lied. The blessing was given, irrevocable. When Esau returned, his anguished cry shook the tent. "Bless me too, my father." But the blessing was gone. Esau wept, then vowed murder. Jacob fled for his life, 20 years in exile. And the irony? Jacob the deceiver got deceived by his uncle Laban, worked 7 years for Rachel, got Leah instead. What goes around comes around. Even in the Bible. 9. Absalom against David, the son who wanted the throne so badly he'd kill his own father for it. For 4 years, Absalom played the long game, stood by the city gate, intercepted people coming to the king for judgment. "Your case is good, but the king has no one to hear you. If only I were judge." Brilliant manipulation. He stole the hearts of Israel. Then he struck, declared himself king in Hebron. David had to flee Jerusalem barefoot, weeping, head covered in shame. Absalom marched into the capital, and to prove his power, he set up a tent on the palace roof and slept with his father's concubines in sight of all Israel. The ultimate degradation. But karma has perfect aim. Fleeing from battle, Absalom's gorgeous long hair, his pride, got tangled in an oak tree. He hung there alive while David's general drove 3 javelins through his heart. When David heard, he broke. "Oh, my son Absalom! Would I had died instead of you?" The throne he killed for became his father's place of grief. 10. The golden calf. The betrayal of an entire nation. Moses had been gone 40 days. 40 days. After witnessing 10 plagues, walking through a split sea, eating bread from heaven, they panicked. "Make us gods," they demanded of Aaron. This wasn't ignorance. This was treachery. They took off their gold earrings, the plunder from Egypt that God had given them, melted it down, formed a calf. "These are your gods, O Israel, who brought you out of Egypt." They actually credited their deliverance to a statue they just made. dancing, revelry, sexual immorality. Meanwhile, on the mountain, God told Moses, "Your people have corrupted themselves." The tablets of the covenant shattered. 3,000 died by the sword. A plague followed. The nearly annihilated nation learned, you can take Israel out of Egypt, but taking Egypt out of Israel, that's harder. 11. Lot's wife. One command, one look, 1 second of disobedience. Eternal consequence. Fire and sulfur rained from heaven, annihilating Sodom and Gomorrah. Angels literally grabbed Lot's family by the hands, dragging them out. Escape for your life. Don't look back. Don't stop anywhere in the plain. Crystal clear. But as they fled, she turned. Maybe curiosity, maybe attachment to her old life, maybe disbelief. We'll never know because instantly, she became a pillar of salt. No name, no last words. Just a monument to the danger of longing for what God has condemned. Jesus himself would later warn, remember Lot's wife. 3 words that mean, when God says move, don't look back. 12. Ahithophel. 12. Ahithophel, David's most trusted counselor. His advice was like hearing from God himself. When Absalom rebelled, Ahithophel joined him. This wasn't just political. David wrote about it in Psalm 55. It was you, my equal, my companion, my familiar friend. They worshiped together, shared secrets. Then, betrayal. Ahithophel's first counsel to Absalom? Sleep with your father's concubines publicly. Brutal. His second? Give me 12,000 men tonight. I'll strike David while he's weak. It would have worked. But God intervened. Absalom rejected the counsel. Ahithophel saw the writing on the wall, went home, put his house in order, and hanged himself. The wisest counselor in Israel couldn't counsel himself through the consequences of betrayal. Notice the pattern? Betrayal often comes from those closest. Judas at the Last Supper, Delilah in Samson's bed, brothers at a family meal, a son stealing a kiss meant for another. The knife goes deepest when held by someone you trust. And the motivations? Money, jealousy, power, fear, lust. The same darkness that crouched at Cain's door crouches at ours. So, which betrayal shocked you most? Was it Delilah's calculated destruction of Samson, David sending Uriah to die with his own death warrant, or Peter denying Jesus 3 times in one night? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more raw, unfiltered biblical truth, hit subscribe. Because these stories weren't written to make us comfortable. They were written to make us aware. Stay vigilant, guard your heart, and remember, in a world full of betrayers, choose to be faithful.